Again, thank you to all of you who subscribe to my channel Swiss Hiker Check, in which I tell you all the best ways to hike in Switzerland on a budget. My favorite hikes are through hikes where you stay in altitude huts, which are extremely affordable, especially considering that they feed you excellent dinner and breakfast. This video will tell you everything you need to know for a 3-day loop hike deep in the Swiss Alps. Have you ever heard of the Tour du Mont Blanc? It's a really popular 11-day hike where you hike clear around the Mont Blanc massif, going through France, Italy, and Switzerland. It's so popular that it's really hard to book your lodging in the altitude huts, and they're very crowded. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely incredible and a must-do. I just did it a month ago and I'm working on a video right now. But this one here is a similar through hike, only you're circling around a much smaller mountain chain in only 3 days. And because it's less popular, you won't have any problems booking lodging along the way. And to compare some numbers, the Tour du Mont Blanc is 170 kilometers or 105 miles and over 10,000 meters elevation gain, which is 33,000 feet. Instead, here you will be hiking 42 kilometers and gain 3,000 meters elevation, which is 10,000 feet. The distance is exactly that of a full marathon, and believe it or not, for 40 years people have been crazy enough to run this as a marathon. It's the oldest mountain running race of Europe. It started out as a Swiss military training trail. Nowadays there are a variety of different races available, and you can find all the information on the official website dentsdumidi.ch. But for regular people like you and I, the hike takes about 3 days. The website is very well organized and translated into English, French, and German. It gives you all the information you need, especially all the lodging options along the trail, with contact information, email addresses, websites, etc. You'll be hiking around the Dents du Midi, which is a very iconic chain of 7 peaks that are very easily recognizable on the skyline of the Alps. The best translation into English would be the southern teeth or southern peaks. On the website you'll find that you can start the hike from several points, and you can hike clockwise or counterclockwise. I did this hike with my brother, and we decided to start in the tiny village of Mex in the Swiss canton of Valais, and to hike counterclockwise. We took the first train of the day to get us to the village of Mex and started hiking. Our destination for the first day was the hut of Antelopes. After the fact, I mapped it out on my Outdoor Active app, and it adds up to a staggering 21.5 kilometers and 1,300 meters climb. I can't believe it was that much because it was such an enjoyable day with incredible views. It was probably my favorite day of the 3. During our hiking, we met this Lebanese guy, and we hiked with him for a couple of hours and had a picnic lunch together. We made it to the hut just in time for an incredible 3-course dinner. The hut is open from mid-June through October. We sat at table with a father and daughter from Belgium. There were plenty of empty beds, which was very nice. It really didn't feel crowded at all. The hut is nestled by a small mountain lake of beautiful color and amazing reflection of the mountain behind. Breakfast was nice and filling, and we were ready for our second day of hiking. Day 2 is the easy day of this hike, with just a little over 8 kilometers and under 5 hours of hiking to our destination, which was the hut of Susanfe, via the waterfall Cascade de Bonavaux, crossing a fun narrow bridge, and a steep climb, Pas d'Ancel, where you get a few technical spots with cables and such. Since we had time to spare, my brother and I decided to be ambitious and make a considerable detour to Barma, a picturesque meadow with a few chalets, where both he and I had an overnight school excursion when we were in 5th grade. Also, I didn't know it at the time, But there is a via ferrata in the area, so if you have time for that, it sure looks fun. I'll definitely go back sometime to do that. It's called Via Ferrata de Thiers. Again, it was such a beautiful day with so much charm, but after our detour, we got to the steep part of the trail and we realized we would be late for dinner. We called the lady from the hut to ask her to please not cancel our reservation. We were just going to be a little bit late, and she was quite stern with us about punctuality. When we arrived at the hut, we met our Belgian friends again and played cards with them after dinner. It was really fun, and we still stay in touch through WhatsApp. You meet the coolest people when you hike. Again, we got our fill of a wonderful 3-course dinner, a good night's sleep, a hearty breakfast the next morning, and we were ready for our third and final day. There was a ton of climbing, and the weather decided to turn wintry on us, but we made it to the top of the pass, the Cabane de Susanfe, at an altitude of 2,494 meters. After that, another pass, the Col de Jorat, at 2,210 meters. There were some mountain ibex, which was really cool. After that, it was all downhill to the quaint village of Mex, where we took public transportation back to my brother's house. To sum it up, I love this hike, and the views were incredible. We had the trails to ourselves. It was a through hike that was easy to plan, with reservations that didn't need to be made months in advance, and I think 3 days is a perfect time for a through hike. I hope this will help some of you who are looking for hikes like this in Switzerland. If you like this video, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Also, check out what other videos I have out there. Thank you and happy hiking!